So where should I put my arms? Like, should I have them?
Wherever feels comfortable.
I think here, because I'm gonna probably just squeeze my palms a little bit. I need like a little stress ball or something.
Take one.
This is Emanuella. She's outgoing and bubbly, and she lives in Brisbane with her husband and 2 kids. But today, while she's talking to me, she feels nervous that she'll say the wrong thing. But let's start from the beginning. Emanuella has worked in the same industry for over a decade. She's worked for large corporations, small businesses. She's even been self-employed. She told me that she had a 10-year career plan.
I really enjoyed it. I loved it, and I really wanted to move up in that ladder. That really was a kick to the gut because I just had to figure out, okay, well, now what am I going to do?
At the moment, Emanuella is not working. She stopped because she experienced sexual harassment multiple times at different workplaces.
There were just incidences that didn't sit right with me. They made me feel uncomfortable. You want to perform well, you enjoy everything else. So I was in that mentality of, oh, well, I shouldn't make a big deal about it because no one else is making a big deal about it.
Emanuella tells me that she could brush it off at first, but over time things built up.
I had to go back to see a counsellor. Like, I could feel myself spiralling, and then I made that realisation myself that you've got to say something has to be said.
After a long legal process, Emanuella reached a settlement. Initially she felt relieved, but that feeling didn't last.
I thought it was over when I'd signed it. It was done, dusted. I could put it in the back of my mind and move on with my life. But I just realised just recently that, I've still got to be cautious about what I say.
As a part of her settlement, Emanuella signed a non-disclosure agreement. Basically, this is a document that dictates who she can talk to and how much she can say about her own experience of sexual harassment.
You're always generalising your conversations with people. I didn't even want to meet up with friends or school mums or anything because, they always, in a passing comment, like, how's work going? Or how do I tackle that question, So I just avoided it instead.
After an extended break, Emanuella recently decided to get back into the workforce and began applying for new jobs. But when she started getting callbacks, her NDAs sat in the back of her mind.
Obviously, when you're working in a certain industry, you kind of get to know other competitors and whatnot. I can't say anything wrong here because they might be good friends with someone that's, from my previous workplace or something. I guess this is why it's taken me so long to want to start looking for employment again. I've really struggled with, do I go back into that industry or do I try something new?
Emanuella started with a 10-year career plan, and now she's starting from scratch. At our community legal centre, we help countless women who need advice on what they can and can't say, sometimes years and years after signing an NDA. If a woman says too much, she can be taken to court. She might even have to pay back any compensation she received. Emanuella told me she was curious about other women's experiences. She asked our director, Ellie, her questions.
There was some research done last year that said 75% of lawyers had never resolved a sexual harassment matter without one of those blanket NDAs. So you can never talk to anybody about it ever again. And that's really high. 75% is
that's
crazy.
a very high number.
Yeah, the companies are buying silence, and that's part of the misuse. We've had women who have said they don't want to sign any confidentiality or non-disparagement clauses. They walk into the conciliation, they've been built up for months and months and months. They felt sick the night before because they were so nervous. They walk in and say, I'm not going to sign it. And then the other party says, we're not participating today. And then we've had other women who have got all the way to the end of the negotiation. It looks like everything's going to be sorted, and then they say, I just want to be able to talk to my best friend about what happened to me, and it derails the entire process.
You would probably still have clients that still want advice for, even after they have, signed their NDAs and everything.
And who come back years and years later saying, oh, can I answer this in an interview? Can I talk to this person in these circumstances? you know, you can see that it's played on their minds, trying to settle back into a normal routine, and then it hits them that they've got to worry about this clause.
Our entire legal centre cares about this topic because we all see firsthand how NDAs are impacting sexual harassment victims every day.
I was really thinking about the dynamics that are present in sexual violence. Shame and guilt and other things that keep women quiet and keep women from sharing their experience. These NDAs really replicate those same dynamics that we're trying to make sure we're not replicating in the work when we're trying to use a trauma-informed framework.
Your network circle is already pretty small anyway when you're going through the experience, and then the NDA just closes that in even more.
Women sharing their experience with other women is so important, to not feel alone, to not feel like it was your fault.
And it's only when women are able to come together and share those experiences with one another and say, hey, you're not alone and this isn't all right, that we're able to get, you know, that wider community change. NDAs are antithetical to that because we're silencing the people who have been most impacted.
How are we as a community and as a society supposed to know that this is an issue that's still happening to women in the workplace when we're not allowed to talk about it?
Do you think it would have made a difference in the workplace if
100%.
If it was all out in the open?
100%.
Do you think things would have changed?
Yes. I can't speak out about it, and if it has happened before, they probably can't speak out about it, so it's just everyone's not speaking out about it, and
nothing ever changes.
And it's just the same.
It's something that we see echoed again and again and again and again, and that's right around the country. So there's working women's centres in every state and territory that hear the same from women who have said, I want change. So all the working women's centres are joining together to say, that's enough. We need to end the misuse of these NDAs. We've got to have some law reform. So there's lots of different ways that we're trying to end that misuse.
Working women's centres around Australia are campaigning for legislative reforms to end the misuse of NDAs. You can get involved by signing our petition for a state-based inquiry and sharing with the hashtag #SignWithCaution. Because at the end of the day, our silence should not be for sale.